नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमः आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपाप्रदायिने गौरकथाधामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे। नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So today we are going to be speaking about, we'll start this session on Sri Madhurashtakam. Madhurashtakam is actually written by one of a very, very beautiful Vaishnava, Vallabhacharya, who is the worshipper of Srinathji, actually. And he's a very ardent follower of Krishna. He, in fact, has met even Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And he has very beautifully written this song, Sri Madhurashtakam. So seeking the blessings of Sri Vallabhacharya, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Vargas, we will try to understand this very beautiful Madhurashtakam. Text 1. Adharam madhuram vadanam madhuram Nayanam madhuram hasitam madhuram hridayam madhuram gamanam madhuram madhuradhipater akhilam madhuram. Translation: His lips are sweet. His face is sweet, his eyes are sweet, his smile is sweet, his heart is sweet, his gait is sweet. Everything is sweet about the Emperor of Sweetness. So the Emperor of Sweetness, Madhuradhipater Akhilam Madhuram. It's such a beautiful, this Madhurashtakam, everything about this this Madhurashtakam is so sweet, you know. It is said that oftentimes I've heard many of our senior acharyas, our current Guru Vargas, especially I've heard from Srila Bhakti Swami Maharaj. This is the tune that I have learned from Bhakti Maharaj personally. But this particular Madhurashtakam, whenever Srila Bhakti Maharaj recites this, he says that Krishna is so sweet. You know, he is so sweet. There's no limit to his sweetness. There's no end to his sweetness. There's no comparison to his sweetness. Everything about him is so sweet. But this particular Ashtakam, which is the sweet Ashtakam, the Madhur Ashtakam, is trying to describe that how every limb of Krishna's body, everything about Krishna, not just his personality, but everything about Krishna is extremely sweet. Each and everything about Krishna is glorified. Starting with his adharam, with his lips. That Krishna's adhara is so sweet. His vadanam is very, very sweet. His entire body is very sweet. His lotus eyes, Nayanam Madhuram, his eyes are very sweet. His Hasitam. So someone might say, what is the difference between lips and a smile? Well, lips are lips and smile is a smile. Krishna has different kinds of smiles which he gives on different occasions. Srimati Radharani has different kinds of smiles. Krishna has different kinds of smiles. He has smiles according to the different rasas he's going through. Very, very beautifully described about his different smiles, about his different, activities. These are such amazing, amazing things to be able to dive our consciousness into. But before we get into this, I just want to um, I just want to establish what is our real. We are actually not qualified. Me personally, I'm really not qualified to be talking about these glorious ashtakams, because I really feel very, very unqualified personally to be describing Krishna and his sweetness. I really have no qualification. Um, but we try to repeat whatever we have heard from our acharyas so that it can be purifying to our consciousness. Our consciousness can get purified. Our hearts can become purified. Our hearts can become cured of the material disease that we are inflicted with. These are the things that with the consciousness with which, that although we know that we are definitely not qualified, but the reason why we still dare to attempt to even talk about these glorious ashtakams is because of the hope that by reciting these ashtakams mechanically, one day we'll be able to realize the sweetness of Krishna. One day we'll be able to dive into this nectarian ocean. With that hope, we are trying to simply try to repeat whatever we have heard. Otherwise, there is no hope for us. At least I can see that, when I was told by my very dear Vinaya to talk about Madhurashtakam, I was feeling, of course, these suggestions were given by different devotees, and I think specifically also Kirtida Sundari Mataji has been requesting these different ashtakams. So, but I really felt very, very unqualified to speak about these ashtakams. But as a service to the Vaishnavas, I'm trying to follow your instructions and trying to serve all of you. But at the same time, I truly feel extremely unqualified, um, because these ashtakams are on a very, very high esoteric subject matter, and a little bit of carelessness, or a little bit of not trying to be in the right mood can be very, very dangerous. These ashtakams are very powerful. They're like fire. And if they're not told in the right, if they're not heard in the right way, if they're not told in the right way, they can be very dangerous. So that's why we constantly beg for the blessings of Srila Prabhupada. We constantly beg for the blessings of our Guru Vargas to be able to describe these very esoteric subject matters. So with that, we'll again resume. Adharam madhuram, vadanam madhuram, nayanam madhuram, hasitam madhuram. As we were talking about Krishna's smiles, the different smiles of Krishna. Very specifically, Krishna has, it would be difficult to say how many kinds of smiles Krishna has. He has many, many smiles based on the moods that he's in. Krishna has his smiles when he, looks at the grass upon which he's walking on. He has a different smile when he looks at the parrots. He has a very different smile when he looks at the peacocks. And he has a very, very beautiful smile when he looks at the cows. He has an extremely beautiful smile when he looks at his loving friends. He has an extremely beautiful smile when he looks up at his mother, Mother Jashoda, at his dear father, Nanda Maharaj. When he looks at Balaram, He has a very specific smile for Lord Balaram. When he looks at the gopis, he has a very different smile. When he looks at Srimati Radharani, he has a most unique kind of smile. So every smile for every occasion is different on Krishna. And that is why Sri Vallabhacharya, he is drawing our attention to the smiles of Krishna, to the different smiles of Krishna, which is very different. Even when Krishna is killing a particular demon, he's actually smiling. He is not doing it with anger. That is one thing that we need to understand, that Krishna never ever shows his anger. Never shows his anger. There's very, very few occasions when Krishna shows his anger, when, his devotees are offended, when his devotees are hurt by another person. That's when Krishna really becomes angry. But when anything is done to him personally, he never ever gets angry. Krishna never ever says that, well, see, look, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I gave you the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. You are not following it. Therefore, I'm angry with all of you. I have ill feelings towards all of you. Krishna can say that. Krishna can do that. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Abhigya. He is Swarat. He is independent. He can do whatever he wants. But Krishna never gets angry upon his, created beings, upon his parts and parcels. He doesn't get angry with us. Never, ever. If Krishna gets angry with us, we're doomed. But Krishna, that's why he never gets angry at us, even when he's killing the demons. Krishna does it with a smile on his face. When he was sucking the life force from Putana, he was doing it with such elegance. When he was strangling Trinavarta as a little baby, just, strangling Trinavarta, Krishna was actually enjoying a roller coaster ride with Trinavarta. He was in ecstasy. Krishna was so happy. He was smiling. He was laughing. Just imagine us going on a roller coaster, how happy we'll be. Krishna was that happy when he was killing Trinavarta. He was not angry at all. There was no tension in Krishna's mind. When he was kicking the cart demon, Shakatasura, Krishna was very, very beautifully, just like how, kids, they get a joy out of kicking their toys. Krishna was, in that position, he was kicking an entire cart. He was flipping a cart up in the air. And he was feeling ecstatic. He was feeling so good that he has achieved something. He has kicked the cart up in the air. And he was waiting that, when will anyone come and praise me? That, look, what a great feat I have done. That's Krishna. He is so amazing. He is so sweet. He is so sweet that even each and every activity that Krishna does, he is doing it with a smile on his face. You'll never see Krishna any time that he is gloomy, he's in tension, he's thinking, what should I do? Never, never, ever. In fact, in this regard, Srila Prabhupada says, there was once a German scholar who had come to India, and once a reporter came and asked him that, my dear sir, why have you come to India? He said, I came to India to investigate who is God, and I have come to a conclusion. So the reporter was very inquisitive, because India is the land of God, and this reporter said, so what's your conclusion? How did you find out who's God? He said, well, my final conclusion is that Krishna is God. And then this reporter was scratching their head. Why? Why do you think Krishna is God? See, the German philosopher said that every god that I went to was doing something, was engaged in an activity. I went to Durga Devi, she was busy killing a demon. Then I went and saw Kali, she's got these skulls all over her head, and she's ready and going on a mission. She's on a mission, looks like. I went to Lord Shiva, he's in meditation. Who is he meditating on? And then I saw different gods, they're engaged in different kinds of activities. They're not just relaxed. But I saw Krishna. He's just relaxed. He's playing his flute. He's doing nothing else other than that. So he must be God. Because God is a person who has to be relaxed, who has to be who is the creator, must have nothing to do other than enjoy. So that must be God. That was the conclusion of a German philosopher. So, what to speak of our Shastras, what to speak of us as devotees, we need to recognize this fact that Krishna is the enjoyer. So, therefore, whatever he does, he seeks enjoyment in that. Hasitam Madhuram. And Krishna's Hridaya, his heart, is Madhuram. Why does Krishna not have any ill feeling towards us? Why does that happen? Because Krishna's heart is made of gold. And we need to understand that we are also part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, we will understand that when we do something good to others, when we do something expecting none in return or nothing in return, we feel a great sense of happiness. We feel that we have done something worthwhile. We feel that we've done something achievable. We've achieved something. Why? Why do we feel that this inner satisfaction? I mean, every one of us at any given point in our life would have felt this kind of satisfaction. Why? Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. And that heart of gold that Krishna has, which has no ill feelings towards others, which only thinks of giving good, doing good to others, that he is the greatest well-wisher of everyone. That feeling, even we have, in a minute sense. Krishna is the ocean, but we are drop of that same ocean. We are same in quality with Krishna. And we are different in quantity, of course. But we have the same composition as Krishna. And therefore, we actually feel great happiness. We feel great bliss when we do something good for others. Simultaneously, when we do something bad, it may momentarily satisfy our ego. It may momentarily just boost our so-called, confidence. But in our inner hearts, we are very, very dissatisfied. We never feel happy at all. We never feel satiated. Why? Because we are acting out of envy. We are not acting according to our constitutional position. That is why. You know what Gauranga Mahaprabhu has said in his Shikshashtakam? Trinadapi shunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. That is our original constitutional position. We just need to realize it. We just need to accept it. That if we feel that, oh, tit for tat, oh, that person is doing this for me, I will do this to that person. I'll do the same. If a dog comes and bites me, I'll go bite the dog back. That's the calculation in the material world. That is working according to envy. But in the spiritual world, in terms of relationship with Krishna, we don't act like that. We act in a way that is glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that gives inner satisfaction to both parties involved. That is acting on behalf of Krishna. That is acting when we have nothing, we have no expectation from whatever is going on. When we have zero expectation, then we can actually live our life completely and blissfully. That is how Krishna is living. He has given us everything. He has given us the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has given us everything, whatever is necessary for us. Now it is up to us to choose which side we want to go. But Krishna himself stays aloof. He makes arrangements in such a way that we can be prompted to make certain choices, But Krishna doesn't enforce it upon us. He's aloof from all of this, without any expectations. Although he has given us the Bhagavad Gita, he has given us everything. But Krishna has no expectations whatsoever. But if we turn around towards Krishna, and if we take one step to Krishna, then Krishna, he will go all out and he will come 10 steps towards us. He will definitely, he is waiting to give us a lending hand. All we have to do is ask. All we have to do is just be in the right position at the right time. Sometimes, because of the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda, we don't even have to ask. We don't even have to beg. The causeless mercy of our Guru Vargas, they are actually fishing, with the bait of Lord Nityananda's mercy. Generally when people go fishing, they take baits, right? They take worms as baits. So the fish, they come to eat the worms. So our acharyas, our Guru Vargas, they know how fallen we are. So they take the mercy of Lord Nityananda as the bait, and they go fishing in the ocean of the material world. And we as fishers, we just come, to see that sugar-coated mercy of Lord Nityananda. And we just come in greed of that. We come and we get caught by the mercy, the hook of Lord Nityananda's mercy. And then our Guru Vargas, they pick us up and they save us. That is called causeless mercy. So when we are in this kind of situation, when we put ourselves in this kind of situation, be in the right place at the right time, that's all is needed in this Kali Yuga. Otherwise, there's no hope for us. Just no hope for us. So these kind of prayers that we are singing, these ashtakams, they're nothing but prayers. They're glorifying Krishna. When we sing these prayers in glorification of Krishna, Krishna is pleased. That is the ultimate purpose of reciting these ashtakams. To please Krishna. That is the ultimate objective. And when Krishna is pleased, he will give his mercy upon us. He will shower his blessings upon us. And that way, we can make more and more advancement. We can try to send this message out to other fishes that, hey, come, there's nice, fish bait there. Please come. The mercy of Lord Nityananda is calling. Get the other fishes. And then bring them all back home, back to Godhead. That is the ultimate purpose of reciting these nectarian prayers of our acharyas. So Hridayam Madhuram. Krishna's heart is made out of gold. He's got a heart which is so sweet, that has love, that has unique love for each and every one of us. Krishna's love for each and every one of us is unique. It is different for each and every one of us. In material world, when we see that a parent, like mother and father, if they have 5 children, it is very difficult to say that the mother and father will love all 5 of them equally. It is difficult to love all of them very equally. Or in case of a husband and wife, if polygamy is, say, for example, allowed, if the husband has more than one wife, he can't claim that he likes all of them equally. He cannot claim that. There will be division of his love. His love will get divided, because that is the nature of this material world. We have to love, that's how we know the concept of love is. That when we love one person, and if another person comes, then the love gets divided. Another person comes, it gets trivided. Then there's quadrified. It just gets more and more and more. It doesn't stay the same. But with Krishna, the equation is different. The calculation is very different. There may be one person, there may be 5 people, 10 million, or unlimited. It doesn't matter. Krishna's love is unique and complete for each and every one of us. It is 100%. That is Krishna. And that is possible only with Krishna. That Krishna's love never ever gets divided. Krishna will expand himself to fulfill the desires of everyone. But he will make sure that each and every one feels satisfied. Each and every one feels that Krishna is only mine and I am Krishna's. Krishna exemplified this through the Rasa Leela. Krishna exemplified this through his relationship with the 16,000 queens of Dwarka. How Krishna gave himself to each and every one of them. To each and every one of his queens. Krishna was completely present with each and every one of them. A complete relationship. There was no difference in that. How Krishna is doing that. That is Krishna. That is because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is because Krishna, he has a heart of gold. He has a heart that is so full of love, that is so full of sweetness, that it is complete and perfect for each and every living entity. Each and every one of us, that heart can belong to. We can, have the possession of Krishna's heart. If our heart is capable of withstanding the heart of Krishna, if our hearts is clean enough for Krishna and Srimati Radharani to come and make their permanent residence in the region of our heart, then Krishna is belonging to us. But it is up to us how clean we keep that heart. And it is not that, okay, during the time, when we are chanting our japa, or, when we were in that kirtan mela, or that sadhu sangha, or that particular time when I received initiation, or when I was with that particular devotee, I was in the height of my devotional service. And that time I really cleansed my heart so good that it is good for the rest of my life, or for the rest of eternity. No. We have to strive to cleanse our heart every moment of every single day of our life. At least till the time that we are actually in the spiritual world. Then we don't have to strive to do that. Because then Krishna has already chosen our heart. But till the time that Krishna makes his permanent residence in the region of our heart, we have to keep striving to keep it clean. We have to keep striving that Krishna is bound in the region of our heart. He doesn't want to leave it. That should be the position that we strive to aspire to. That we should try to aspire to that position that Krishna will never leave us. With our purity, the purity in our sadhana, the purity in our seva, the purity in our sangha. When Krishna sees all of this, then he will never ever want to leave. He will never ever want to leave. So Hridayam Madhuram, Krishna's heart, is so sweet. Gamanam Madhuram. Gamanam means Krishna's walking. Now Krishna's walking, it includes Krishna's crawling too. The first time when it is said that when Vasudeva was carrying Krishna on his head on a basket and he was crossing the Jamuna, there was one point that Mother Jamuna got very, very furious. Her waves were like, it was becoming greater than an ocean. Why? Why was she acting like that? Because she was eager to touch that blissful lotus feet of Krishna. Those tiny, tiny lotus feet, those pinkish lotus feet of Krishna, which was just hanging out of that basket. Mother Jamuna was so eager to touch the lotus feet of Krishna that she became very vigorous. She became very, very violent. And the waves were literally because Vasudeva had Krishna on his head. So if she had to get to Krishna's lotus feet, Then she had to sink Vasudeva for a little while. And then Krishna just put his tiny two lotus feet out. And as soon as Mother Jamuna touched the lotus feet of Krishna, she again became pacified. She became very pacified. And Vasudeva was able to breathe again. So Mother Jamuna had become very, very fortunate. Right from the day when Krishna made his appearance. So from that day, Mother Earth, she was waiting for the day that when will Krishna come and touch me? When will I get to touch Krishna's lotus feet? Mother Earth was thinking like that. And then the day came because, Krishna would always, be on the lap of his mother. He would always be on the lap of Nanda Baba or Mother Jashoda or Mother Rohini or even Balaram. He was himself so tiny, but Balaram would like to carry Krishna. That I am the elder brother, I am going to carry Krishna, and he would carry Krishna. So Krishna would never ever, put his lotus feet on Mother Earth. But there was one day, that day arrived when Krishna was going to put his tiny two lotus feet on the chest of Mother Earth. And that day came when Mother Jashoda took Kanha out and came to the Jamuna to bathe. She was going to bathe and she said, Kanha, you're getting a little naughty. You've just started crawling. So, you sit here. I'll go take a dip in the Jamuna and I'll be back. Krishna nodded his head. He was a tiny baby. He had just learned crawling. So if you tell the babies, just sit here in one place, do the babies listen? No, they don't. So why would Krishna listen? So Krishna also started crawling. And as soon as he crawled, his tiny lotus feet, by his gait, his walking, gamanam, he actually touched, for the first time, he touched Mother Earth with his lotus feet. And Mother Earth was so pleased. She became so much in ecstasy that she started crying tears of ecstasy. And she was so happy and she told Krishna that, Krishna, I am so happy that today that day has come. I was waiting for that day since the day of your arrival here. And today that day has come, that you have put your lotus feet on me. I am so blessed, oh Krishna. And by her tears, she was wetting the mud that was there. The earth was getting wet. So then Krishna, out of his kindness, out of his love for his devotee, he just took that mud and he ate it. And then Mother Earth was in super duper ecstasy that Krishna accepted her and ate her. So she was in so much ecstasy that it was undescribable. And then, of course, Balaraham and the other sakhas of Krishna, they saw that Krishna is eating dirt. And then they complained to Mother Jashoda, Maya, look what your Kanha has done. He started crawling and this is what he does. He goes and picks up, wet mud and he's putting it in his mouth, thinking it to be makan. And then Mother Jashoda came to him and said, Kanha, what are you doing? Show me your mouth. Open your mouth. And then Krishna, as soon as he opened his mouth, Mother Jashoda saw the entire universe, the entire creation she saw in his mouth. And she even saw all the planets. She saw everything. She saw the earth planet. And there she saw Vrindavan. And there she saw herself looking into the mouth of Krishna. She was stunned. She was astounded. And then she started thinking, oh, Krishna, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What am I doing? And I keep shouting at him. I keep scolding him day in and day out. No, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can I do this? And then Mother Jashoda, she just folded her hands and she started doing stuti. She started doing vandana to Krishna. And Krishna said, no. This is not nice coming from the mouth of Mother Jashoda. I don't like. Mother Jashoda, just stop. So Mother Yashoda, Krishna instructed Yogamaya, to cover Mother Yashoda, to bring her back into the illusion, to think that this is my son. You see, the devotees also forget Krishna, the supremacy of Krishna. The devotees also forget that in their love for Krishna. So they are also under Maya, but under Yoga Maya, because they choose to forget Krishna out of their pure love for Krishna. And Mahamaya makes us forget Krishna out of envy. All of us conditioned souls, we forget Krishna, the supremacy of Krishna, because of our envious nature. Out of envy, we forget that. And the devotees also forget that, but they forget it out of love. And we forget it out of envy. There's a difference. So then Mother Jashoda, then she just caught Krishna's ears and said, "Are you going to eat mud again?" And Krishna was like smiling. He just said, "My mother is back. Jashoda Maya is back. She's catching my ear. She's talking to me." That was like better than, Krishna hearing stutis and, vandanas. Hearing Mother Yashoda shout at Krishna, that was more nectarian to Krishna's eyes. I'm sorry, Krishna's ears, because that was so much full of love. That was spontaneous love and protection coming out of Mother Jashoda's lotus mouth. So that's what Krishna is seeing. That's what Krishna wants. He doesn't really want awe and reverence. He wants love. He wants loving reciprocation with him. We are not at that level of having loving relationship with Krishna. But we know that that is the level that we need to aspire to. And how can we get to that level? By following Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. By following the rules and regulations of sadhana bhakti, we can achieve that platform. We have to follow the rules and regulations. We have to chant our 16 rounds. We have to follow the 4 regulative principles. And then one day, by the mercy of our spiritual master, we can come to that particular platform of loving Krishna in that spontaneous way. It does not come artificially. So we should never even try to love Krishna, saying that, "Oh, Krishna, you are this, you are that." That's going to be very artificial and extremely offensive. We must be very careful that when we recite these pastimes, or when we recite these ashtakams, when we recite these, deep prayers, we should know what level we are in. We should never think that we are at the level of Raganuga Bhaktas, spontaneous loving relationship with Krishna. No. That will be coming only by the mercy of the spiritual master. The day that they feel that we are qualified, they will give it to us. But till then, we have to have this awe and respect towards Krishna. We should serve Krishna as a servant, as a maidservant. That's what is our relationship with Krishna. That Krishna, you are my Lord. You are my worshipable Lord, life after life. Mama Janmani Janmanishware. That you are my Ishwara, life after life, my Lord. That is the mood that Mahaprabhu has taught us. And once we follow in that mood, then one day, by the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy of our Guru Vargas, we will be able to love Krishna spontaneously. We will be able to. That is definitely a guarantee. But till then, we have to have that mood that we are the servant and Krishna is our master. He is our Lord, life after life. Madhuradhipater akhilam madhuram. That he is the master of sweetness. He is the emperor of sweetness. He is the king of all sweetness. Madhuradhipate akhilam madhuram. That everything about Krishna is so sweet, is so amazingly mystical, is amazingly sweet and blissful. That is Krishna. So today we will end here. If there's any comments, questions, or reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Kalasudha Mataji. Thank you so much for such sweet nectar. Oh my God, it was so sweet. And I really didn't know why Krishna had taken the little bird and put it in his mouth. I didn't realize it was a way of loving reciprocation to Mother Earth. That was so very, very, very sweet. Um, Mataji, I do have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we always talk about envy being our reason for going away from Krishna, and we are in general, that is our basic identity, is that we are envious. We are here because we are envious.
Mm.
So in the material world, if like among other relations, you mentioned that yes, among the devotees, when we are associating with other elements in Krishna that's related directly to Krishna, that time we should not feel envy at all. That should not be, we should not, we should try to keep aside our enviousness. But how do we avoid that in this material world, with our other relations?
Well,
especially at work where it's a competition. Sorry.
Well, see, the thing is that when we are dealing with the material world, especially since you brought up workplace, over there, if you display your humility, this question was asked to Srila Jayapataka Maharaj, and I will answer whatever he said. Yes, I will just try to repeat whatever my Guru Maharaj had said in this exact question that was asked to him. He said that in our workplace, nowadays the material world, not nowadays, every time the material world has become cutthroat. It's like cutthroat competition. That if you go and try and say that, oh, I'm very humble, you can come do whatever you want to me, and you being my colleagues, it's okay, whatever you want, I am humble, I am a sadhu, and you can do whatever you want, but I won't react, it's okay, you can do. If that's our humility, then we are in big trouble. In the material world, when we act, we need to act in a way that is befitting the material world. We have to be at the rat race, we have to be part of the rat race. Otherwise we get stampeded upon. Okay, what we are dealing with devotees, we cannot replicate that at our workplace. So does that mean that we are leading two lives? Or does that mean that we are being duplicitous? Does that mean that we do not have anything called proper character? No, that does not mean that. That just means that we have our internal consciousness, our internal self, our internal sadhana that is never going to be touched by anybody materialistic. But externally, we may have to take care of certain things in certain ways so that we will be able to take care of things in a material way, especially at our workplace. Even when sometimes when we have our relatives who may not be devotees, when we go and visit them, if we try to talk to them too much about Krishna, they think that we are fanatics and they go away from Krishna even more. So in that situation, it's best to just try and blend in, with them, so that they at least start liking us, and when they like us, they'll automatically not at least commit any offenses. This is especially in regards to being, dealing with relatives, that at least they'll not commit any offenses, and then their chances of becoming devotees or accepting Krishna in their life will be much more easier, you know but when we try to, tell them about the philosophy, when we try to do so much, then that's what freaks them out. They're not able to accept it. It could be for many, many reasons. So that's why Srila Prabhupada always said that preach to your relatives with your activities, with your actions, and not so much with your mouth. Don't do that. Not so much with words. Preaching with action means they relate. Srila Prabhupada said that each and every one who is a part of this International Society for Krishna Consciousness is a perfect gentleman and a perfect gentle lady. So, what are our moral values? Try to live up to those moral values of no lying, no cheating, no, people, materialistic people relate to these things. Because there was an example in New Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada was there one time, and there was one devotee who just plucked some flowers from the neighbors who were not devotees, and he came and offered it to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, "Did you take permission from them before taking these beautiful flowers?" That neighbor said, "But Prabhupada, this is Krishna's property. It's not their property." Prabhupada laughed and said that, yes, it is Krishna's property, but it is under their supervision. So you should take permission. Why did Prabhupada, do this? Because he was trying to teach all of us that what does a devotee really mean? A devotee is not a person who is just simply chanting 16 rounds and following the 4 regulative principles, but they also have certain moral values, which is respected in society, which is understood in society. Srila Prabhupada wanted each and every one in ISKCON to be respected as a proper gentleman and a gentle lady. So that is what it means to be a devotee. So even at workplace, you can still be a gentle lady, but still be part of the competition. But in your heart, you should know the difference. You should be humble at heart, but sometimes humility at works can be detrimental. So a devotee utilizes their intelligence. Just like this story of Narad Muni and the snake. Narad Muni's disciple, the snake. Narad Muni told that poisonous snake that, okay, I will initiate you, but you stop biting people. You just bite people, you stop doing that. So the snake accepted. He said, yes, Narad Muni, I won't bite people anymore. I want to become your ardent follower. Please initiate me. And Narad Muni initiated the snake. And then, the snake, started chanting Hare Krishna. And then the snake became so good. And then what happened? He stopped biting everyone. So Narad Muni, after a few days, few months, he said, okay, let me go and see how my disciple, my dear disciple, the snake is doing. Narad Muni came and saw the snake, and he was so shocked. The snake was bleeding all over, and he was hurt, and he was, really injured. And Narad Muni said, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? Then the snake was not even able to talk, and he said, my dear Narad Muni, my dear Guru Maharaj, you told me not to bite. So I'm not biting anyone. So these little kids, they started throwing stones at me, and they're injuring me because they think that I don't have any more strength, any more poison in me. So therefore they're just, doing this to me. They're hurting me. Narad Muni literally had tears in his eyes, and he said, my dear disciple, I told you not to bite, but you can raise your hood. By raising your hood, you can scare the kids away. You don't have to bite, but you can raise your hood so that people don't take advantage of you. That is a devotee. A devotee is a person who is not like a little carpet that people can stampede upon. No. Maharaj Yudhishthir, Arjuna, these are all devotees. Ambarish Maharaj, these are devotees. But they were Raja Rishis, they're kings. So just like that snake, we also need to learn how to deal with people, but not be attached to it. Know who is the controller ultimately, that Krishna is the controller, but he has put me in this kind of situation. What is the best way that I can work it out? That is a devotee. So I hope this answers your question, Indu.
Even show our anger, it's okay to do that, right?
Yes, show our anger, but then there's a lot of disturbance in the line. um, yes, show our anger, but not be, not getting affected by that anger. Sometimes we may have to chastise our children in order to, discipline them, but we don't do it out of, real anger. We don't do it out of, a grudge, a negative emotion. We rather do it out of love, you know. Um, so that's the thing, that don't get affected by the entire thing. Try to stay above these kind of emotions. And as long as we do that, we are seeking good shelter of someone whom we can trust. We are good. We are okay. They can provide us guidance on how to act in every kind of situation. So,
Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji. It's a little hard to implement right away, but yes, I'll keep that in mind, because I might just get carried away by that emotion outburst or whatever.
see, it's not
Thank you so-
magic. It's not magic. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of practice. So don't be harsh on yourself. Don't be harsh on yourself. You know, just keep trying, and one day it will become practice. Okay?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any more questions?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Mataji. In this same vein about, not being a doormat, but adjusting according to our material circumstances, how do we simultaneously be more tolerant than a tree, yet show our hoods or respond appropriately to these material circumstances? Because it can, there's a distinction between being a doormat and being more tolerant than a tree. So can you clarify what that distinction is?
Yes. Thank you very much for that question. So we are always a doormat internally. We are always a doormat. Internally, that is our consciousness. That we are a doormat for Krishna and his devotees to step on anytime, any given circumstances. That is our situation. That is our position. But at the same time, if we act in that way in the material world, it'll be very tough for us to survive. We have to stand up to ourselves. And sorry about that. So we have to stand up to ourselves. That was a good echo. Stand up to ourselves. Stand up to ourselves. But standing up to ourselves doesn't mean, doing that to puff up our egos. Therefore, we need a constant guide in our life who can guide us, who can help us navigate through this road, because it is a very difficult road, and those who have already crossed beyond it, or those who are crossing over it, they can hold our hand and take us with them on that journey. It becomes very easy that way. And that's why we have our Shiksha gurus, or we have our Diksha gurus, who can provide us that kind of guidance, who can provide us that kind of, navigating tools, that we can easily cross beyond this kind of thing. Because, sometimes it gets very difficult for us to distinguish that whether we are acting on terms of ego, or whether we are just, sometimes even being a doormat could be an egoistic issue, that, oh, I am a doormat, that you can be very egoistic about it. So how do we really navigate ourselves? Yeah, we are very proud that we are very humble, we are proud of our humility. So that's not really, the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. And therefore, we don't trust our own judgment, which is definitely materialistically tainted, but we trust the judgment of our Guru Vargas and their representatives, who are, going through that journey themselves. And when we hold their hand, it gets easy to cross beyond it, it gets really easy. So I hope that clarifies.
Yes, if I could just maybe use one small example. Let's say a person, a devotee, um, I don't know, gets physically shoved in a line or something. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, if he gets shoved, right? So internally, he should be thinking, well, it was my karma to be mistreated in this way. So he should recognize that the mistreatment was due to his karma, but he can still, maybe, like you say, stand up for himself, or, yeah, like stand up for himself in some kind of way, but not out of the thinking that, not out of the thinking that I did not deserve this, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, is that along the is that, is that the right idea or what?
Well, yes, they definitely think internally that I deserve worse than this. And probably that situation, they don't even have to react anything, and Krishna will take care. But if that situation keeps repeating, then he can definitely seek guidance that, what can I do that, this kind of situation doesn't happen again and again, that I get, shoved in the line. What can be done and how can I do it? It could be a very specific person who's shoving me all the time, or it could be different people. But, we seek guidance at that time. But yes, our internal consciousness is that we deserve worse than that. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right. If there's no more questions, Indu, shall we go ahead and end the call?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Kalasudha Mataji, for such an enlightening and very practical class that we can try to implement in our everyday life also. Very, very grateful to you. Thank you so much. Look forward to your association in the future. We can end here if no one has any more questions. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Kalasudha, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Her Grace Kalasudha Mataji ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. Madhurashtakam ki jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
This session is no longer being recorded.